augmented reality porn. There you go.
There you go.
No, it's really
you could be like one of those little like little angels sitting in the little bottom of the Google Glass or something. You know like you know how you would say, hey Alexa, or hey Siri or something like that. You would say, hey Mercedes, and you'd pop up on the glass and hey Mercedes, exactly. See, that's brilliant. Do it, take it, run with it.
I like that and that makes more sense because I think it's actually like. And then maybe that's what's always bothered me about it on a psychological level. It's kind of dissociative. Like, I don't want to be in this room. I don't want to be where I'm at. I want to be in this other place with this other person. But it's not interactive. So it's almost like being in a sensory deprivation chamber in a way, because you don't have no control over you have no control over that environment, but you're choosing not to be in your current one. I think psychologically for me it doesn't work, but I don't have a penis, so I don't stroke my dick to like porn like the same way. I'll watch it, but I don't have the same physiological cues. So I don't know if some of the men because it's mostly men who buy it. I mean, women don't buy virtual reality porn overwhelmingly.
That's true.
I've never tried it, so I don't know.
What do you say to people that might say something like porn is harmful, or there's that whole group of people that they try to rally against porn because they claim that it poisons the minds of kids growing. You know what I mean? Like, what do you say to that whole
fuck them
arm of besides that?
I actually don't disagree that porn should be behind pay sites. I actually think that the industry should be in with a religious right to have it as banned as possible, because that's how I make the most money. Like, the more contraband my work is, the more money I make. So
that makes sense. That makes sense from your point of view, actually. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's ban it. Like, ban it all. Like, fucking put it behind all the pay sites. Like, make people.
Make it very difficult to get to. Right. Okay.
Yeah, because that's actually a better model. Part of the problem with the industry right now is that they're like, they have this weird, they want to make money, but they also want porn to be everywhere. And I'm like, well, you can't do that, because that's the scarcity model. It still applies to this. So I think pornography can be an addiction, but I think part of the reason for the addiction is actually an overarching social issue that we have right now, which is that I think we have a society that, for all its technological progress, is exceedingly regressive when it comes to sex. And maybe even increasingly so, because if you look at like technologies and advanced, it's like Demolition Man now. People are going to put on the VR headsets in order to have sex. It's kind of a bizarre thing. It's like this weird neo-tech thing. And I think people feel very disassociated from their humanity or their animalness. So they're probably going to porn to look for that because of the condition of society. I don't think that. I think anything could be a problem. I think you can overdrink water, you can overeat food, you can overuse any compound or whatever. I don't think they're wrong. I just think that they don't understand the why. So they're coming to a conclusion. They're saying that porn is a problem for these people. Well, yes, it is, but the reason for that is not the thing that you're saying. We don't need a return to biblical family values, because look, things were fucked up back then. If you really read news reports from back in the day, where they're saying, everything was so great back in the day. It's like, no, the world was not Leave It to Beaver at all.
No,
it was actually
not at all.
That was the image that they put forth. That was the varnish that they put on society. But you look deeper beyond that varnish, that's not the way society actually was. That was all myth.
And you're dead on. You're dead on. I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that people haven't embraced sexuality. They do it in private. I think to a certain extent, everybody is willing to kind of search out or seek out their own sexuality, but they, for some reason, won't do that where it counts, which is out in the public. Like, we're not open with sexual education in schools. We try our best to shield kids away from hearing anything about sex. And what that causes is problems when the kids get older and they realize that, hey, this is pretty fun and I haven't been exposed to it, very long. So I'm just going to go crazy with it.
Right. And also, like, without, porn is not an instructional how-to. It's like you're not going to watch Evel Knievel to learn how to ride a bicycle. You know what I mean? And so the problem is that you have people looking to pornography and say, well, they need to educate. Well, there's actually instructive porn out there. I've done some really cool
Ginger Lynn taught me an awful lot back in the day.
Yeah, Ginger Lynn's dope. I went on her radio show. She's really cool.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's super fun. She's such a cool chick. She started talking about, she's talking about getting turned on watching this Japanese bukkake scene where they're coming in with gallons of semen and porn. The girl.
She does sex education now, though, doesn't she? I mean, that's kind of her shtick now. Is she's heavily involved in sex education, right?
Yeah, her and Nina Hartley.
Nina Hartley.
There's a lot. Jessica Drake with the Wicked Guide to Sex. That's a big series. They have it, and it does exist. It's just that when you go to Pornhub, you're more likely to see Riley Reid taking like 3 dicks up her ass. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's all about what people.
That's the most popular video I think on Pornhub. Yeah,
I can vouch for that.
You see, yeah, he's in his research this weekend.
He's a big Riley Reid fan.
Came across. I love Riley.
I'm just a big porn fan.
And I like porn too. It's one of these things where I think if you watch it as entertainment, it's really cool because you actually get to see performers. One thing I love about porn is that unlike me, I hated being a mainstream model and actress. It's incredibly limiting, and it's totally stupid, and I'm reading so many stupid words that they wrote and whatever. But with porn, they usually give us an intro, and then whatever during the scene is usually up to us, unless it's really good, and usually it's not. So you can kind of take things how we want, and I love that about my profession is they give us still an opportunity. So we'll take, like, I did a scene yesterday with this girl. I was supposed to be a tennis coach for this girl, and we turned this into this really amazing scene because I was going to fuck her into being a champion, right? So like I made her come, and I'm like, how bad fuck win? And I'm fucking her, and she's like,
fucking for the goal.
Yeah, and
That's awesome.
It was cool. They gave us kind of this. So you can get really creative if you want to.
Oh,
and that's
funny.
what I do love. Yeah, it's cool. But I think it's like anything. It's to be used in moderation. I don't think that that's the way to teach children. But if your fucking kids are watching porn, like, where the hell are you? Like, watch your kids.
Really,
I don't know what to tell.
That's a good point. I'm glad though, that it's a little bit more natural now because gone are the days. It's so crazy to go back and watch some of the vintage porn with the cheesy intro lines like, "Oh, you've got my pizza. Do you need a tip?" You know what I mean? Like it's
extra pepperoni.
It seems like now today it's a lot more just going straight into it, which I like. There's none of the extra acting with.
It's a lot more reality, right? It's a lot more reality type, like instead of like scripted than anything else. But you're talking earlier, there's a lot of porn stars that actually have degrees. I mean, very well educated porn stars, people with degrees in microbiology, anthropology. They're very intelligent, and I'm a sapiosexual, so I find that to be hot, right? If a woman's in a scene and she's talking science, and it happens to be hot and naked, what can go wrong, right?
You're a what?
Sapiosexual. If you don't know the word, you're not one.
That's not
a
thing.
Thumb.
Yeah,
stop.
Yeah, no. He thinks I make shit up. He literally thinks I make these words up on the fly.
No, I think people make up too many words for things. Like, just say I like having sex with people who are smart. You don't need
you don't have to even have sex with a sapiosexual. That's not what but sapiosexual doesn't mean you have to have sex with them. Sapiosexual means you're attracted to intelligent people.
Whatever.
See what I do with.
But yeah, I like sapio. I mean, it's true. I think that inside the industry, actually, we have stuff like that too. Where there's some of the performers that I really gel with. That it's not about looks. Like, I think we all kind of we have to hold ourselves to a high standard because people want to see attractive people fucking. But it's not like. I don't think that's a definitive thing when it comes to if my time in porn has taught me anything, it's all about like what's in people's brains and their energy. That's what makes people sexy,
But what's some of the nicest girls you've ever had to work with, if I can ask? Like just actually sweet girls. Nice.
Riley Reid is a sweetheart. So
she seems
we'll
nice.
be happy about that. Yeah, she's wonderful. God, there's so many girls. My good friend Missy Martinez, one of the other Latin MILFs. There's 3 Latin MILFs: Ariela Ferrara, Missy Martinez, and myself. So that's we're it. We're the triune of Latin MILF made porn. But Missy's a good friend of mine. She's fantastic. I mean, most of the girls are actually really great. Like, one cool thing about being kind of a disenfranchised class is that people end up, even if they get a little ego for a while, overall. And I got to tell you, actually, most of the people with shit personalities wash out really quick. So
that makes sense.
One thing that's
it does make sense. Who wants to work with them if they're just nasty people, right?
Yeah, and you'll see, like, I've seen this, like, not super recently, but kind of recently. Well, they'll push a girl really hard, but she's got a shit personality. So yeah, they might do that, but the rest of us are going to rebel and go, I'm no listing that person. I'm not going to work with them. I don't care. So I'll do that if I don't like somebody. I'm like, fuck you. I don't care how popular you are right now, because I'll still be around 3 years from now. You'll be gone. I'll give a shit. So
there you go.
Enough of us who go, I don't need to put up with your fucking bullshit to make because I'm not going to too late. Always some girl who's a bitch to me on set. I don't need to work with you again that bad.
Yeah,
and you do have the choice. You can blacklist certain people, right? You can say, for whatever reason, I don't want to work with that particular person.
Yeah, and the only people, it's funny because some of the girls, like I said, there's still a lingering thing with the 90s where people want to like blacklist over crossovers, or they work with transsexuals, whatever. But the only people on my no list are people who I just don't like. Like they were assholes at some point. And I'm not willing to invest time in finding out if they're going to not be assholes the next time I work with them.
Sure, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Do you ever have any like awkward moments where the chemistry's not right when you're filming a scene, or like you maybe just not into that other person?
I think at the point I'm at now, no, but earlier on, yes. I think you realize it's responsible, so part of your job as a performer is to make chemistry where there is none. So your job is to then, every person you work with, find what it is about them that you can connect with. And like I said, like the only people who are assholes are the ones who won't connect back. Like if they're not willing to engage in that with me, I cannot work with them because they're creating a self-limiting barrier around themselves. And so we can't create anything good.
Sure.
But most people, especially most performers, they want to they want to be in their space and do what they're doing well. And so they're going to work together with whoever they're working with. So I work with I worked with a young girl yesterday, and she was like, I was so intimidated to work with you. And I think, well, I don't know why, but it's just because I've been around for a while and I have a rep for being a pretty good actress. So she was nervous, but she was so sweet. And like if people mess up a little bit or they're having a hard time because they're like nervous or they're confused, I think we all understand that. It's just a matter of, it's the ego. And I think the social media has created some of that too. There's a lot of like this, you guys see it, I'm sure. It's like social media likes and clicks and blah, 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 blah. And so people start to believe their own bullshit. And like, you're not famous. Like I'm not famous. I don't, how many people have jerked off to me? I'm not famous because when I walk down the street, I'm not being stopped all the time.
It's probably good. You probably like that though. I would like that fact that I'm not, constantly, you're out there enough where people that, they appreciate your work, but they're not like clobbering you down the road or stalk. Do you get stalkers? That's a good question. Do you get people that just have an unhealthy obsession with you?
I don't, but I'm known to have a lot of guns. So I'm kind of like fucking, like I grew up in a military household. Like I have a gun next to my bed. Like fuck with me. Like, oh, let's see who's a better shot. I'm gonna bet I'm a better shot. So I don't.
But it's still nice to have a fan base, right?
But I love my fans. See, I have great fans. I see, and I don't have. I hear this from other girls. I think that people kind of create or generate a lot of what they are. Whatever you put out, right? So if you put out a lot of shit, you're gonna get a lot of shit. Or I'm very careful with the scenes I do. I don't do scenes that are like snuff scenes or anything like that because I don't like that fan base. So I don't want to have fans who want to see me get killed. That's
right.
I mean, that's most of the girls I know who've had serious do those kinds of scenes because you're dealing with people who are mentally unwell. It's not normal to want to see people like it's and while they're having sex. It's a bizarre thing. So I stay with like really vanilla and like the scenes that people consider the fact that I do bi scenes and trans sex scenes to be like, oh, it's so like outside of the typical rules. But then on the other hand, a lot of the girls who won't do that will do a snuff scene or something, a torture type scene.
That is bizarre.
It makes sense.
That is bizarre.
Yeah. So I'm great fans. My fans are fucking fantastic. I love my fans. They're really good people. And some of them are really supportive. I get to know a lot of them really well. And I like talking to people. I'm interested in who they are, what they're doing and why they follow me. Cause it's cool. You know, to me, it's so neat. Somebody's going to actually tweet me and say, "Hey, I watched your